Child, let's get into this mess. Let's talk about swastika Sweeney. So apparently it looks like Miss Mama's career is in the toilet because she decided to cook herself to them goddamn MAGA incels, and she shocked, or as Whoopi Goldberg like to say, Shaka did, that her career is pretty much flopping before our very eyes. So yeah, so the other day, well, not even the other day, a couple of months ago, remember, she did a GQ interview and she was given every opportunity. You know, when it comes to white people, they love trying to find a way to finagle their people out of situations. And she gave her every opportunity to clean up this mess about the whole Jean situation because she was, and people were kind of looking at us like, yeah, you're doing like these racist dog whistles. And it was because when you're talking about your blue eyes and all the other stuff, yeah, you're talking about eugenics. So you can't sit up here and try to act obtuse. Like, oh my God, I didn't know that was about eugenics. And even though y'all could play up your little, palm isms when you can pretend like, oh my God, your racial blind spots. But, oh, I didn't know. That's the way people took it. I sincerely apologize. That's not what I meant. I just took a check and, I wasn't paying attention on something because that's not my experience. And a lot of times when it comes to white people, that isn't y'all experience. So they don't understand about racial blind spots and all other stuff until you tell them. And then when you learn, you know better, you do better. Or you can continue to play an airbrain like this dumb bitch with her Karen haircut. So or as I wish I would have had the one with that horrible ass hard, I don't know how much Aquanet they put up in that hair, but that hair looked crunchy. When she went on, she went on one of them award. I mean, those late night shows. I don't even know. It was one of the Jimmys. It's probably Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Big Nuts. I don't know. Somebody's show she went on, and she had that hard, crunchy ass hairdo, which her stylist, I guess, was trying to read somebody for coming out. I said, you ain't gay enough to try to come and read us about that bitch's hair, or maybe you are really gay and a hater because for you to make her up over to look like that, you got to have some deep amount of deeply rooted shade within your spirit to be able to do that. Same thing with the person that did Gloria Gaynor's makeup for the Kennedy Center honors. If y'all haven't seen them pictures, definitely look it up on the internet because she looked a mess. I mean, I've seen drag queens with better foundation. So Swastika Sweeney's Hollywood career is in a free fall, apparently, according to Radar Online, as her recent publicity choices have pushed studio chiefs to quietly sideline her, a shift some are now describing as professional death in an industry where image is everything. The controversy has mounted over the past 2 years, beginning with the viral backlash to her now infamous family's Blue Lives Matter gathering in Idaho and accelerating through a series of public missteps. Insiders have left major producers unwilling to take risks on her. Now, tension intensified after a recent American Eagle advertisement was branded racist for appearing to support the Aryan race worshipped by Hitler, leading it to be seized on by far right groups as a top ad campaign. Industry observers say the silence hardened perceptions along left leaning film bosses that Sweeney had chosen her political brand over her career. One of the things that pisses me off about y'all with this stuff, so basically what y'all are trying to say, and if people really pay attention, like pay attention. So anybody who has common sense, who actually has empathy and sympathy for others, who call out bigotry and racism and homophobia and transphobia and all the phobias, that's left leaning. So right wingers are racist, xenophobic, homophobic, transphobic, hate everybody unless you're white and male. So all the races are Republican. Okay, so this is kind of like the overall assumption of what people are trying to say. Because I know Republicans who don't lean and believe in the bigotry and the racism and all that other stuff. But this is what a lot of the media likes to do. They like to create these divisions. They like to come up with this lefty, all this other stuff, or you're a lib, own the libs, and all that. It's like sit and spin. So I see through the bullshit. I see through the division, and I call out, as y'all know, I call out both sides on this damn channel. So I just hate the way y'all word certain things. So, because they don't want to work with her, or whatever, it's left leaning. I don't know if the all the other stuff that Swastika Sweeney was doing, where she decided to cook herself to the MAGA base. A lot of the young boys that live in their basement and jerk off to a lot of videos that they watch on social media, if the basement dwellers were actually getting up off their ass and stop playing games on Twitch and all this other stuff and went to the movies to support her horrible ass films, I don't think they'd be having this conversation about left-leaning people don't want to work with her. The fact of the matter is she's not making studios money. And this is, as I said, show business. This is not show friends. You know how many white girls with blonde hair and blue eyes and big tits they can come across? A dime a dozen. So Sydney Sweeney just looked like your average white girl. Yeah, she'll continue to get more opportunities, but there's a million of girls that look like her that they could find. And if that girl, the next girl that's on the come up with blonde hair, blue eyes, and big boobs, can open a movie, Sydney who? Sydney what? Okay. So one studio exec strategist said executives feel she keeps doubling down on the wrong headlines. Her whole PR plan is being viewed as a self-inflicted wound. People at the top are saying she's making herself radioactive. I like that song. Isn't that about Imagine Dragons? Also, I heard her manager actually ended up at another company, so she lost her manager. I don't know if she got a new one. Well, her longtime manager is no longer with her. Now, another longtime producer said her refusal to address the first scandal was taken as a signal. Like she didn't care how it played. That's when doors started closing. Because she was like, because remember in the GQ interview, she was like, well, if I have something to, well, I'm paraphrasing, if I have something to apologize for, I'll apologize for. And now, because she has this new movie coming out, The Housemaid, which is based on is a number one novel. A lot of women love that book. And here's the thing. Swastika Sweeney done fucked up the situation because she was cucking herself to the wrong gender. So while you out here with these little boys getting hard-ons over some blonde shit that they rather see make OF videos than an actual theatrical movie release, she should have been pandering herself to the female fan base. Kind of like what Blake what's her name? What we call her? Ku Klux Khaleesi Lively should have been doing before she messed up This Ends With Us. Or It Ends With Us. I'm thinking of This Is Us and It Ends With Us. I merged both the movie and the TV series. So when it comes down to that, that's what she should have been doing. She should have kind of been pinning herself to like, you should have been making yourself like the Taylor Swift of cinema. You should have been cooking yourself to the young white girls and all the other stuff, or the girls that like, stuff. No, that's what she want to do. She want to cook herself to a base that don't get up off their ass and leave their mama house to go to the movies. And where are they? You released 3 movies this year. Eden, Christie, and there was another movie that she really damn, I forgot the name of it. But anyway, she released 3 movies this year. It'll probably come to me. Y'all know it does, because I'll be drawing my blanks. And they all flopped. They also said that they also started talking about the fact that she grew up in a conservative household in Kentucky, and as many people do, adopted her parents' politics. And there had been the resurfacing of her 2024 voter registration as a Republican in Florida, by the way, I should point out. Those revelations, according to insiders, made her a persona non grata in many progressive circles in Hollywood. A casting exec said Hollywood has a long memory. After that Idaho incident, people stopped attaching her to major projects. And here's the thing. I get the fact that you grew up in Kentucky and and as many people do, we do adopt the policies of my parents. I'm sure that when I was growing up, I adopted a lot of the policies of my parents. My parents are like centrist Democrats. And now these days, they don't really know unless I'm literally having these conversations, telling them about, because they watch The View, they watch the regular linear news and all that stuff. And literally, if I'm in a room with them and I have these conversations, I'm literally telling you about the more progressive stuff that's going on. And they're getting it and they're understanding it and they're seeing it because I'm pointing it out to them and I'm giving them the reference points. But when you're younger, it's like you don't know much better. You just go by what your parents tell you because you feel like your parents are telling you what they're telling you is the right thing. So when you get older and you start to go out into the world and you broaden your horizons, and she has no excuse, because if you're going to get in more of something that is perceived as a liberal corporation type situation like Hollywood, where you're encountering a lot of people who are diverse. So what you learn in Kentucky and you come over to LA and you in a more liberal type of place where you get to see LGBTQIA plus people, you're around black people, you're around Latino people, you're around everybody that ain't necessarily white, blonde hair, blue eyes, like you would see in Kentucky. You've seen all the people that left them areas that are in LA trying to make it and get away from those racist, backdoor inbred ideologies, and you coming over here. So that world's going to open your eyes. You're going to broaden your horizons, and you're not going to be you're evolving more in your ideologies. But if you're coming over here still with them conservative talking points, and you ain't evolved as a woman or as a human being, oh, you're not going to last long in this business. You might last long if you decide to go make movies for Candace Cameron Bure's company, or if you want to start opposite Karen Sorbo in one of them straight to streaming flicks. Or you can go hit up that mail order whore Mulania, because apparently she got her production company. She talking about she gonna be making movies and things now. I don't know what she know, but she's going to be making movies about the thing or whatever it is that she. Remember, did y'all see that video? Speaking of which, of Melania, did y'all see that video of her where she was reading to kids? I was like, vampire out here reading to the kids. Reading is fundamental, but not for her. So, with all that being said, oh wait, there was another thing that an executive said. So let me get to that, and then we'll get to her apology tour. So they said a veteran talent agent explained there's an unspoken rule. You could be anything privately, but publicly identifying as conservative is now career quicksand. It puts her further out of the room. And that's true. I'm sure that there are a lot of people, trust and believe, that work in Hollywood that y'all love, but behind the scenes, they voted for Trump. They believe in a lot of those those corporate centrist ideologies or whatever the case is. They real conservative behind the scenes, but on camera, oh, I'm the most liberal, whatever, whatever. And yeah, play it up, fake it. That's what you're supposed to do in Hollywood. Hollywood is one big phony situation that I like to dismantle and let y'all know the tea, because I'm messy. But for the most part, yeah, you come across people who have conservative views, and if that's your views, that's your views. But you shouldn't make your views public, because the minute you do that, you pretty much hooked herself into a corner, because once that cult has dissolved, and trust and believe, MAGA will dissipate once Trump leaves Earth, because he's the only one that's able to keep that momentum going. Everybody else tries to adapt his ideologies. It don't work. People apparently see through it, but they can't see through Donald Trump's bullshit. It's weird how that happens. Everybody else jumps on the bandwagon, and y'all see through it. But you don't see through it when it comes to Trump. Is he kind of like that? Remember that season of Angel, where it was like everybody looked at Jasmine as like this beautiful entity? And who was it that actually saw through? I think it was Fred. When you saw that she was like this worm creature, it's like everybody sees the big, beautiful, you know, Gina Torres. But then when it comes down to it, Jasmine looked like a worm woman. But only very few of us can see the creature for what it is. Kind of like They Live, when you put on the shades and it says obey and all that other stuff. That's what it's giving. So yeah, then it was talk about her being a Bond girl, but I don't think that's going to happen. So yeah, so here was her apology. She said, I did a jean ad. I mean, the reaction definitely was a surprise, but I love jeans. All I wear are jeans, and I'm literally in jeans and a t-shirt every day of my life. Well, that's what she said in the beginning. So now, with the housemaid coming out, now she want to backpedal. And so nobody should be, well, I guess we are kind of subscribed, but people aren't buying it because they're like, girl, you have 5 months. You could have said that 5 months ago. The whole jean situation. So yeah, so she said this. Wait, let me close this one. And she said, I was honestly surprised by the reaction. I did it because I love the jeans and I love the brand. I don't support the views some people chose to connect to the campaign. Many have assigned motives and labels to me that just aren't true. Well, why didn't you say that then when you did the GQ article? You was like, if I have something to say, then I'll say it down the road. And then when she asked Swastika Sweeney about the overall reaction from Donald Trump, because when he started to assert himself, now you made it political. You made something that was an outrage from people of color who were bringing this up in their TikTok videos and those other stuff. And then it was a back and forth, of course, discourse online. Now Trump is asserting himself in what's going on in pop culture when you're supposed to be as acting as a president. So now that he's made it his situation, now it's become political. And I hate when people say, stop bringing politics and everything. Well, tell him to stop doing it, because he's the one that's doing it. So once he decided to open that Pandora's box, then we have to go over there and talk about it. And she was like, it was surreal, which means that she feels like she made it. Now Trump's talking about me. It's a new kind of attention. And then you had a lot of the people who were Trump supporters that were being all pro Sydney and then trying to make her the mascot for their base. Now it seems like because his numbers have dropped amongst young men because, of course, the job market is in the toilet. Yeah, the numbers are really bad. Look them up. Um, Now that the youth, the young male market and all the other stuff is turning demographic, I should say, is turning on Trump. Seem like Sydney Sweeney's losing that base now. These people are fickle. They love you today and then you're gone in an hour. So she said, anyone who knows me knows that I'm always trying to bring people together. Really? Because I've never seen that happen. I mean, even down to the point we're hearing Zendaya don't even want to be associated with you, and they have the new season of Euphoria coming out. So even Zendaya don't want to be around you. And Zendaya is a biracial child, so she's not going to be associated with you know, some MAGA darling, some MAGA mascot, I should guess we should call it. She said, I'm against hate and divisiveness. In the past, my stance has been to never respond to negative or positive press, but recently I have come to realize that my silence regarding this issue is only widen the divide, not close it. So I hope this new year brings more focus on what connects us instead of divides us. Well, that's kind of hard when you have a base that is all about division. That's all about it's the immigrants and the trans people that are taking your jobs and all these other things. First of all, I don't know any white people that want a job, picking fruit and vegetables in the field or cleaning bathrooms. So if people want to take that as a stereotype, who the fuck else is doing them jobs? Because I work in corporate businesses where I see those are the ones that's doing those jobs. And those white people rather work in the office, in the cubicle. Now, I don't work in the cubicle. I work at the garden. But for the most part, I'm working with a lot of these people that come into these places for these events. And when I'm working in the events that I'm working at, my department is way different, but when you're working and seeing people who are the bathroom attendants, who are working in food and bev, those are a lot of the demographics that y'all trying to deport in this, especially when it comes to the service industry. So when you're being distracted by the oligarchs and trying to keep us fighting within each other, this is the outcome of that. So as I said, I just feel like this is some BS. Like, you had plenty of time to give an apology in your whole GQ interview, but because you have the housemaid coming out, which I don't know what the budget is, but I'm sure it's a bigger budgeted film than Americana, Eden, and Christie, which all flopped at the box office. I told you it was gonna come to me. The other movie, it was Americana. I couldn't remember what it was, but Housemaid, I'm sure it has the bigger budget. I never saw the trailers when it was on YouTube, but when I went to see Five Nights at Freddy's 2, I actually got to see the trailer. And I was like, this movie actually looks good. So I want to see it. um, so after all of that, yeah, then they wanted you to come out. I was like, oh, this is a big movie. It's got a lot of money behind it. There's a certain audience that we're trying to pander to see this film. Women mostly. I'm sure a couple of homosexuals or some people make it a date night or whatever the case is. So these are the demographics we're trying to hit for this film. And we need you to go on this apology tour because, yeah, your last couple of movies flopped, and we're worried about this may happen with this film. Hopefully it doesn't. And I'm not saying it because it's Sydney Sweeney. I don't particularly care for her. I never really cared for her. Even when she was on Euphoria, I tolerated her, but she was never like that girl that I was, oh my God, I have to see a Sydney Sweeney movie. If she popped up in something that piqued my interest, I would watch it. Like, I like that movie where she played a nun that was pregnant or whatever the hell that movie was. I forgot the name of it. Um, I like that movie that she was in. She's done a couple of movies or whatever, but I never really paid attention until now. All this stuff about her personal life started coming. Now I'm starting to look at her like, I don't like you. So, um, people, they were, like I said, we already went through the whole thing in regards of like her conservative family, the upbringing, all the stuff. Also, I think you even dating Scooter Braun is not even a good look. Like, the perfectly planted, you're outdoors making out with each other and hanging out and stuff. Scooter Braun is a known Zionist. That MAGA makeover where you looking like the Fox News conglomerates. This is just not a good look for you. So, in my opinion, I just feel like it's going to take a lot more than a late condemnation of hate to rehabilitate your tarnished career. So, I don't know what she needs to do at this point. Maybe she needs to disappear for a couple of years, maybe 2 or 3 years, and then people will forget. But then again, like I said, there's so many girls that look like her. If she disappeared for a long period of time, y'all gonna move on to the next blonde-haired, blue-eyed, big-boobed actress that could do her better than her. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Sydney Sweeney? Oh, sorry, Swastika Sweeney, and the situation of how her career is on the chop. I forgot to put that one up there, but the other headline worked better. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.